If God punishes people eternally simply for believing the wrong things, it means it's justified to make fun of stupid people. And that's what people do. People make fun of people who they perceive as stupid. There are three genders, a popular meme states: male, female, and attack helicopter. It is considered a hilarious meme that has amused many. Someone who identifies as an attack helicopter deserves this ridicule because they are stupid. Stupid people deserve ridicule. That is a rule in our society. Clever people don't deserve ridicule. It's mean to ridicule someone who is normal. You're an asshole if you make fun of a neurotypical friend or a neurotypical stranger. But ridiculing someone who is a little crazy is proper conduct. Stupid people deserve ridicule. There's a reason we do not empathize with the situation that lobsters are in. The situation they're in is they're crammed up in a tiny box. And that's something that will never happen to us because we are not lobsters. Similarly, we as ordinary people will never be stupid. So we don't really feel the need to empathize with them as much. But we do empathize with blind people, of course. Being blind is not a part of who you are because our eyes are not who we are. They do not make up our identity. It is the mind, our intellect, that is us. For the most part, we are our brain. That is where our identity resides, in our intellect. So when you are a person with a smaller intellect, you are less of a person. So it doesn't matter as much when the feelings of a dumb person are hurt. That's how our society thinks. If you say that that is not what our society thinks, then answer me. If stupidity does not take away any of your value as a human being, why is it justified to make fun of stupid people and hurt their feelings? The only possible answer is that either stupidity does take away from your value as a human being, or else it is not justified to make fun of stupid people. But since the attack helicopter meme is a thing, it is considered justified, widely even. The struggle for identity that strange and atypical people face is a punchline. People find it funny. People consider the autistic and variously divergent people on Tumblr stupid. They're stupid. And that's the only validation people can give for this unrefined belittlement. So am I saying we should respect their identity? Should we respect attack helicopters? Well, I'm sorry if you find that an insulting idea, but yes, let them be attack helicopters. It gives them an escape. It's a way to cope with who they are and how they experience themselves. I think this way of coping with your sense of self is far more useful and far less disturbing than, for example, the DISC assessments. When you do the DISC test, you are simply rephrasing your personality type without ever making it any easier for yourself. You already knew the answer to those questions. So you already knew your identity. You've just been using different words. But now you've just rephrased it. And what has that done exactly? Well, nothing really, except now you can approach the other partakers of this test in a more superficial way. And you can feel less guilty about all your own failings and general wickedness. Because now you can say that it's just part of who you are. Now you can say, I'm a D, so I'm allowed to be an asshole sometimes. Or I got a C, so I can get away with being dishonest. That's what the rational self-explanation does to people. It doesn't help. And it's also invented by the same dude who invented the lie detector, which also doesn't help. It's far better to be a fool. If you are a dog, if you are a Tyrion, and you begin to identify as a dog, it gives you a new frame of reference. You can now see yourself in a new light. This can be very useful and very liberating for some people. It can help people express an inner self that previously couldn't even get out at all. Doesn't matter that it's silly, it works. It makes people more confident and it makes people feel more genuine. They need to seek mental help, you say. Of course, don't we all? And they probably do already, because these are often troubled individuals we are talking about. They probably see some sort of therapist already. Ironically, you are the one who is stupid and ignorant if you tell them they need to seek mental help. They already do tend to seek mental help, and their very stupidity that you ridicule is a type of mental help in and of itself. Because it's often a coping mechanism that they need in order to function. It is their mental help. You literally just don't understand. In fact, you can't even begin to comprehend how far off you are in your perception of stupid people. Male, female and attack helicopter. Is the rational right pulling my leg? Not only is this meme completely unfunny, it's also completely misguided, because the left would not consider attack helicopter a gender, rather it would be considered a kin type. And you rational fuckers might not even know that word. That's how little you know about stupid people, and yet you believe that you are in a position to judge. A so-called kin type is an identity held by so-called otherkins. When you're otherkin, it means you identify as something non-human. Though it's very unlikely that anyone who is otherkin would identify as an attack helicopter, because an attack helicopter is a very uncompelling thing to identify as. But it is theoretically possible that there is someone out there who truly, in the narrowest sense, is the very object of ridicule of the attack helicopter meme. But even this hypothetical person doesn't deserve your casual malice. For how can strange, unconventional beliefs be a crime? Look at the communities, look at how they interact with people. Are they wicked or are they sweet? I'd say they're very sweet. Incomprehensible, sure, maybe even inconveniently incomprehensible, but definitely sweet, not wicked. But that doesn't matter to you, does it? The little boys who are creating themselves in the image of those rational people like Peterson and Shapiro, they don't want to be sweet. The thought of being a sweet, compassionate fellow does not resonate with them at all. But it does with them, the stupid people. They know what it's like to be persecuted like they are. They are sweet. Even when you look at wolves. Of course, there is a shadow side to these snowflakes, sure. I think it's very immoral when they sometimes exalt themselves above other humans. Think of Starseeds, think of Angel King. Now that is morally wrong. That you can criticize. But in the end, you can't even blame them that much. Because look at humanity. It's very easy to be overcome with pride when you see how grave the sins of the world are. Humanity is so very lost. And it has been for a very long time. Maybe if starseed people and all the snowflakes weren't so arrogant, they could do that which they believe to be their destiny. Because even they, the arrogant ones, are a lot less malicious and a lot more sensitive than most people. Because it's so normal here to be cold. So even though they're sometimes arrogant, even though some of them might have a little messiah complex, I still do respect them. Because at least they're sensitive. And at least they see that humanity is wicked. That's already far more than can be said for most rational people. They might behave arrogantly because of their silly beliefs. They might be way too proud because they believe they're from another planet or from heaven. Yes, it's morally wrong to believe you're superior to others. But how many people do you think believe themselves to be starseed? Maybe about 5,000? I don't think it's much more than that. And not all of them are bad. And how many people are making, sharing and discussing those helicopter memes? Well, I think at least 1 million. And there's a lot more people ridiculing stupid people by other means. So I side with the stupid people. I side with genderqueer nonsense, Otherkin, gibberish and Tyrion Wu. Because it is sweeter. With one exception. There's one type of otherkin that I do not accept at all. And the strange thing is, this is the kin type that is most universally accepted of all. If you try to study theology, you'll eventually run into one particular kin type and you'll find that everyone around you finds it perfectly acceptable. It's bewildering. I'm afraid I really hate it. So there's still one kin type that I despise. If only I could convince people that there are certain things that you cannot identify as. Not everything is valid, actually. Valid is a stupid word, by the way. I really, really hate people who identify as the late prophet Moses. I hate Moses skin.